Hello, humans of the earth, and thank you for joining us on this wonderful day. My name is Dana,
And my name is Heidi.
and this is Fun Times with Dana and Heidi. Today, we will be discussing some of the latest positive, wonderful tweet of the week. And this tweet comes from at We One Boy, and
We
it
one
says
boy.
We One Boy. Like, I think it's from SpongeBob, like where Patrick is like, I Wumbo, you Wumbo. You know that part?
I don't remember. I haven't watched SpongeBob in a very long time.
And I think it's just like ingrained in my memory from how much I watched it as a child. The tweet says, if you sweat in a sweater, aren't you the sweater? And as soon as I read this tweet, I just like sat down, I just started thinking about like this strange sweater paradox. I was very confused. Heidi, do you have any thoughts?
I didn't realize that this was such a thought until I found the tweet that Dana put onto the outline. And I was like, I guess you are the sweater if
Yes,
you do
because
sweat.
it's labeled a sweater, but because it makes you sweat because it's like warm and stuff. But if you
Yeah,
sweat inside the sweater, then you're the sweater. So who's the real sweater?
I always thought that the reason why they called sweatpants is because you sweat in them.
Yeah,
Sweatpants is because you sweat in them.
yeah. So you sweat in them. But the sweatpants thing is a different discussion. But this is something else, something to think about, something to have in your mind today. Okay, so just let go of your troublesome worries and think about the sweater paradox. So
Okay.
Heidi is going to tell us about her wonderful news story. So Heidi, go ahead.
Hello, yes. So today we're going to be starting off with our first news story, and this is an article from MSN, and it came with a video, so I also watched the video as well. I don't know, I'm pretty much of a visual learner. I'm pretty much of a visual learner. I like to see things out rather than anything else, but
Yeah.
so I was watching this video, and a Stafford County elementary school principal was involved in a head-on collision car accident. She was so lucky because the car behind her, high school students, former and graduated, but they were all like a mix. So there were some still in school, some already graduated, but there was three of them in behind her, and she was very lucky. Mrs. Wardlow and her husband, when they got out of they were actually pulled when they got out of they were actually pulled out of the vehicle by these three high school students.
Hmm.
And obviously you are very shocked when you get into a car accident because you're like, what just happened, like, actually.
Yeah.
And on in the video, they showed some pictures of the damages in the principal's car and the other car, and it was pretty bad. Like, their bumper was not non-existent, and it was pretty banged up.
Hmm.
So you could tell that she got like probably like whiplash or something.
Yeah.
But the three students, Nicholas, Avery, and Olivia, kept her calm and talking to her throughout the thing because her husband wasn't very injured, but she was very, like, she had chest pain, so she was having some trouble breathing.
Hmm.
And if you know anything about the health world or whatever, if you think someone has a concussion or any type of damage to the brain, you want to keep them awake. So we're telling her, like, asking her questions like, "Hey, how are you? Does this hurt?" Blah 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 blah. And obviously, Mrs. Wardlow. Oh my gosh, I can't say her name properly. Mrs. Wardlow was like, "Yes, I'm okay, but I'm having some trouble breathing. And can I hold your hand?" She asked one of the students, and the students was she asked one of the students, and the students was like, "Yeah, sure." And she said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm squeezing your hand so hard." And he said, "You can squeeze it you can squeeze my hand as hard as you want." And I was like, "Wow, wow."
Yes, they're such good apples, you know? They're good
They're
students.
such good apples.
They're good children.
And a lot of people, when they witness a car accident, they either call 911 or they just move on to their way, hoping that they
Yeah, they
won't.
try to like drive away also.
Yeah.
I've
hmm
seen
And
some people do that. I've seen some people like there was like a car crash and then like the witnesses they just kind of like drive. There was like a car crash, and then like the witnesses they just kind of like drive away. They're like bye.
Yeah, yeah, and like I don't blame them because not everyone is able to see such tragic event,
Yeah,
but
but
a
these
lot of
students
people
were brave enough to like go and help their principal. So that's really cool.
they basically went into the war zone and they stayed with her till the end. They didn't just say, "Hey, you're hiding," and leave. They just stayed there till the end, and I thought that was really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
So,
I totally agree with you. So that's very sweet, and I love that very much. And now we are going to move on to our next news story. And so when COVID-19 hit, Virginia Sharp, a small business owner, knew that she had to think outside of the box because, of course, she couldn't have her shop in person because of the whole quarantine thing that happened. Obviously, now it's different, or at least in Texas. But at the moment, her business was suffering, and she needed to figure out a creative way to like keep it alive. And so during quarantine, she decided to move her shop from brick and mortar, so like physically, to social media. And as we all know, social media is a very powerful tool, especially for marketing. And I'm just going to do a shameless plug here. Go follow us at Fun Times WDH so you can see the true power that it holds. But
and see more memes.
yes, and see our wonderful memes. But anyway, back to the story. So she moved her shop from a physical shop to social media, and kind of like an Etsy sort of deal. So every Friday, she hosts her own live fashion shows each week on Facebook Live, and I love that. She's working it. She's having a great time. And so some of her themes, she has a different theme every single week that she does a fashion show. And some of the themes are a fashion show. And some of the themes are a girls' trip and a yacht party and coffee chat. And I think that's really cute. She's bringing a little spice to the fashion shows. And so even after COVID-19 ends, or even after she can open up her brick and mortar shop again, she wants to continue or not right now, but in the past, she was a nurse because she followed in her mom's footsteps, but she still wanted to do something in fashion because it was her passion to do fashion. And then she made her little shop, and she's just very happy doing that. And so her advice is to do it very cute. And her shop is called Damari's Unique Boutique. And yeah, I think this is a really great way, and she really managed to turn something negative into something positive for her, and I think that's really nice.
That's so cute. Two totally off topic things, but her name Virginia Sharp reminds me totally off topic things, but her name Virginia Sharp reminds me of something that would come out of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like Veruca Salt, and like she gives me a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory vibes. Like
Oh
her
yeah, I know
name.
what you mean. The one with the squirrels.
Yeah.
Yeah, seen as a child. I don't know. I didn't know how to process that, but I was like, yes, she's getting assaulted by squirrels. Interesting for a kids movie, but
Mhm.
yeah,
I also barely learned that brick and mortar meant a concrete building.
yeah.
I never knew what that meant. I was like, okay, yeah, like whatever old saying, like, yeah, yeah. And now I'm like, oh, brick and mortar, like,
Like
oh,
nodding
it
and
means
smiling, like yeah, I
it
totally.
means a physical building.
Yeah. Well, see, you learn something new every day. We love that. And so now we are going to move on to my science talks, Dana Science Talks, and I'm actually very intrigued by this topic. And so, a Japanese robotics company has developed a smart mask that can amplify your voice and translate speech into 8 different languages. And I think that's really cool.
Whoa.
Like, imagine you have like a mask and your voice is
Wow.
booming. That's the via Bluetooth. And the robotics company, they developed it because they noticed that when people like have the glass barrier or like facial coverings, it's kind of hard to hear them what they're saying. And so they developed it so that industry and healthcare workers can sound louder and clearer. And so I think that's really cool. Care workers can sound louder and clearer. And so I think that's really cool. And it can also, since it was made in Japan, they're translating Japanese into different languages, but I think that the technology could be applied, anywhere around the world if we make the effort to do so. And so it can translate Japanese into Korean, Vietnamese, Indonesian, English, Spanish, and French. And I think that's really cool. You can just,
Is
but
it in real time?
yeah, it's in real time. So I think that's really cool because, you can just speak any language you want with your handy dandy little mask. And I think that's cool. And so in order to fund this project, they raised like a crowdfunding platform so that they could give them money. And so they raised like the yen equivalent of $265,000 in just 37 minutes. And I think that's really impressive. Like, can you imagine?
Dang. They'd be rich, rich for good reasons. For good reasons.
Yes, rich, rich for good reasons. And yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, not, I think it's like a really good, like a really good progress for a fundraiser, even especially a crowdfunding. That's really cool. And so the first 5,000 to 10,000 masks will be distributed across Japan in December. And each of the masks is expected to cost between $40 to $50. And
That's
honestly,
not bad.
yeah, for the technology, like it's honestly not that bad, especially like if you're traveling like internationally, which you shouldn't do. Something where you have to like use different languages, or maybe if you work in one of these industries, like the healthcare industry, and there's like a patient who speaks a different language, they can just translate it, boom, like that. And I think that's really good. So $40 to $50 honestly isn't that bad for like this technology. I think that's really cool. Heidi, what do you think?
I think I think it's cool. Have you ever seen those Chewbacca masks that where you if you open your mouth it gives you like this loud like Chewbacca noise?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. There was like this meme with like this mom
Yes.
laughing.
And and this is what it reminds me of because I can just picture these Japanese nurses and doctors putting on a face mask and every single time they open up their mouth like and something new comes out of it.
Something
Something
new
new
comes
comes
out.
out.
It's all gonna be in French. I love that.
I wonder how it looks. Like I think it would it be bulky because of the motor
It's
inside? I
like
don't know.
it looks like a regular mask. Like
Of the motor
it's
inside?
like
I don't know.
it looks like a regular mask. Like not like the clothing, not like the cloth masks. It's kind of like those like shell ones that people wear, where it's like a hard shell. I don't know how it's like hard.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind
like
of
the
like
molded mask.
bulkier, but it's not like it looks like. I think it's made out of plastic. It just looks a little bit bulkier, but it's still like you can stick it on
Oh,
your face. So yeah,
okay.
it's really
Are
cool.
these like reusable? Like, are they
Yeah, I think they're
reusable?
reusable. I mean, it's probably. I think it's pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure it's made of like plastic and stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's
Ask $40 to $50.
yeah, honestly, because here they're probably selling for like $100. Not gonna lie. So
Yeah, they're gonna like mark up the price exponentially.
yeah, probably. But I think that's really cool. So yeah, so if you live in Japan for any reason, or if you I don't know, want to go find the Japanese shop or something where they sell these, or maybe even online. I don't even know. You can go ahead and buy a translating mask. Pretty cool, in my opinion. So, Heidi, do you want to tell us how we can cure our boredom? Moving on to this next segment with help and bored.
Yeah, for sure. So these two things I have on my list are all food related, which I don't have a problem with that at all. But so let's just get started with the first one. During the course of the past week, because we upload it weekly, I have been making oat milk by hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh my, actually, how do you do that? I
For
just
sure,
thought you
yeah.
do it like by hand. I thought you need like a weird machine or something.
Nope. I will tell you everything that you need to know today. So starting off with the reason why I wanted to make my own oat milk is because I like oat milk from the store, the brand Oatly. Have you heard of it? Oatly?
No, I don't. If I want to get like alternative milk, I usually get like almond milk.
Oh, okay. Well, Oatly is sold by half and it's gone within maybe 4 days, 3 days at my house because it's delicious. And I decided to try making my own because I used to make my own almond milk as well. So I was already familiar with the nut milk process and making everything by hand at home. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy almond milk. I make my own almond milk. So I was like, I already know how to make almond milk. So let me try oat milk. So I did my thing. I did a little research, looked recipes online, watched YouTube videos, and oh, it was very simple. And oh, it was very simple. But the only thing that people had trouble with was that their mixture came out slimy, and that's because they blended it too much. So
Uh,
let me tell you the right way to make oat milk.
yes, Heidi's gonna
Yes,
school
I'll
us
tell
on
you the
oat
right
milk
way.
right now.
For sure, for sure. Yes, okay. So, I'm gonna tell you like the most basic recipe. You can obviously double it or do whatever mathematical equations you want to do with it, but we're gonna start simple, okay? So, we're gonna have 1 cup of rolled oats or quick oats. Rolled oats work better, of rolled oats or quick oats. Rolled oats work better, but quick oats, it's fine. Like I used quick oats, it's fine. You just have to blend it less. And I suggest you put them in the freezer 1 hour prior to the 1 hour prior to making the oat milk, because when you freeze it, it makes it less mushy. Because with the blender, it's a high speed blender and it's gonna heat up the mixture and it's gonna make it like oat milk, like all mushy and slimy.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you put it in the freezer beforehand so it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna get 4 cups of ice cold water. Everything has
Okay.
time.
We don't want slimy milk. Disgusting.
Exactly, exactly. So you're gonna put all that into the blender and you're gonna blend it up for 30 seconds at the lowest setting possible, because if you blend it too much, it's gonna heat it up, it's gonna become slimy. So make sure not in the low setting and let blend up. You're gonna see chunks, but they're good chunks. They're good chunks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna get
Good
a
chunks
nut
of it.
milk.
Uh-huh.
What?
I'm
Say
sorry.
that again?
No, nothing. I said good chunks.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Good chunks, good chunks. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Good chunks, good chunks. Yes, yes, yes. So then you're gonna get your nut milk bag. They sell these everywhere. You just have to look for it. And if not, you can just use a t-shirt. Just make sure that it's not dyed, because if you have a bright red t-shirt and you use that, you're gonna get pink milk. So don't do that.
Oh, pink.
Forbidden strawberry milk.
It's forbidden strawberry milk. I love that.
Yeah, so you're gonna just put it into your nut milk bag and you're gonna let the liquid pour out. And once you see that there's not that much liquid pouring out, you can slowly squeeze it, but don't overdo it, because then the starches are gonna leak and then it's gonna become slimy. So just let it pour out, and then it's gonna become slimy. So just let it pour out, squeeze it a little bit, but don't overdo it. And then that's it. That is literally it. And if you want to spice up your oat milk, you want to add maple syrup, honey, or whatever sweetener you want, sugar, whatever, to have it some flavor. And
Yes.
you could add a pinch of salt. Adds like a little bit of flavor.
Interesting. Salty milk. I'll look into it.
Yes, yes, yes. Please look into it. And today I put cinnamon in it, and it tastes really good. If you want
Ooh,
extra flavor,
see the extra spice. We love to see it.
extra
We,
spice.
yes. Spicy milk.
Yeah, I know.
Spicy milk.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about how salt it's weird to put into milk, and I thought that first at too. So the first time I made it, I did not put any salt in it, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, it's good. But the second I added the salt, oh, it tasted so much better. It's a pinch of salt.
Interesting. Another thing that you can do if you're bored during quarantine. Well, we aren't really quarantined right now, but if you're just bored in general, you can't really go outside that much. So if you're just bored in general, something that you can do is that you can color. And I know it sounds like a very childish thing to do, but it's actually like really relaxing, especially if you like put on music. Actually like really relaxing, especially if you like put on music and you just, coloring, it's just a great way to just relax and pass a bit of time.
Get in your feels.
Yeah, get in your feels, cure your boredom. And I know that there's like adult coloring books, but not like in a weird way. Like
In that
yeah,
way.
not that way. Where everything's like very small, like it's very like the designs are very detailed. Like instead of like coloring Santa Claus like in kids book, you have to color like this hummingbird inside a Picasso painting. I don't know, it's just very like detailed, but I don't like painting. I don't know, it's just very like detailed, but I don't like doing those types of coloring because they stress me out more than they calm me down. So I recommend getting like a baby children's coloring book just because like it's like it brings you back to your child. You can just color Santa Claus and be happy with that, you know? And that's what I do. And I know it's kind of like uh contradicting almost, I guess, but I just don't like having to color in the teeny tiny little things because it stresses me out and it takes forever to do it. I just want something, and it takes forever to do it. I just want something, quick, over and out, in and out. Sorry.
Dana has no patience.
I have no patience. Well, no, I do. I do have patience for things like this. Like I do have patience, but I just don't like coloring the tiny things because it's just irritating. So I don't know if that's the same thing for you. If you consider yourself an artsy person, it's probably the opposite. But if you don't consider yourself an artsy person like me, get like a kid's coloring book because it's very therapeutic and I like it a lot.
Oh, yes, and I've also heard that you can donate if you don't want to keep your artwork obviously, but you can donate them to children in hospitals and they look at these drawings. I don't know, that's just an idea for maybe if you make too much too much colorings. But I think that's a good way to also provide.
So yeah, that's a great way to, de-stress and unwind and take care of yourself because it's very important. Mental health is very
Yes.
important. Take care of yourself.
And in no way am I telling Dana to give away her artwork. It was just an idea that came into mind.
This is not artwork. This is just me coloring Santa Claus. But I love in the middle of summer. But you know what? I'm having a good time. So that is all. So Heidi, do you want to end today with our motivational quote? This is a special one today.
Yeah, so today I decided to do something like a funnier quote because I feel like all of like me and Dana's quotes are usually pretty serious. I don't know who said this, unfortunately. If not, I would credit them for their wonderful quote. But
Yes.
they said, "I may look like a potato now, but one day I'll turn into fries and you'll want me then."
Yes, we love the attitude. Say it. Go. Go, girl. Give us everything. I love her energy.
Go
Go do a
and become something
metamorphosis,
great.
a fry metamorphosis. I love that.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, so that ends today's episode, right, Dana? Or do you have anything else to say?
No, that is all. Thank you for listening to our great commentary, and Heidi can tell you more about where to visit us. Visit us.
Yeah, so we have a website where we can where we do upload all of these sites that we get these wonderful news stories from. And if you want to read more or listen more or look at more because we do all types of good news, you can go check out our website which is in our description. And you can also check out our Instagram at funtimeswdh to see some fun memes and to know when we upload our next episode.
Yes, you should definitely follow us. The memes are top tier and they're handpicked by us. That's how you know
Handpicked.
they're, that's because they were handpicked by Dana and Heidi.
Period. Well, goodbye, guys. Next time.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yay.